Hey guys, welcome to the RoundTable episode 84. I'm Jenny Walker, the social media ministry leader here at Life, and this is Mike Hill. He is our pastor. And to the left of me in our couch, we have Jim and Ellen Nunley.
Don't they look comfortable in their
They look
couch?
so comfortable.
You know, the only problem with the couch is they look like they don't like each other. Right? Like we need to stretch the mics out. There we
go.
That's
Make
perfect.
it sit a little closer.
Yeah, so before we jump into where you guys are at, Jenny, I got to hear, how was your Christmas?
I mean, it was good. Do you want to hear what happened to me yesterday?
Yes.
I had the most intense time out at the Golden Retriever farm. Have you ever seen a dog fight? My heart rate got up to
Wait a second,
173.
Okay, so a dog fight, you went to watch it?
So,
one
no.
that Michael Vick put on?
Like one happened. Wait, what? What did you say?
Just one that Michael Vick put on.
No, nobody put on.
Michael Vick got kicked out of the NFL for dog fighting.
Did he really?
Yeah, pit bulls fighting.
Yeah.
No, he wasn't there.
Right.
But no, I just turned around and all of a sudden, or I turned my back to a couple dogs, and then they just started mowing each other.
Mm-hmm.
And then so the boy dogs were fighting, and then the two girl dogs started fighting. And I mean, it looked like a murder scene in there.
Was there blood?
Everywhere.
Seriously?
Oh my gosh. The dogs are like cream color, like Roman.
Okay.
And I mean, covered completely in blood. I had not, I don't know if I was running on adrenaline or what, but.
So what'd you do? Did you jump in the middle and rip them apart?
Yes. The first time
savior?
I ever met Glenda, she was like, if there is ever a dog fight, do not intervene because they will probably bite you.
So what did you?
And in my head when she said, she said that in that moment, I'm like, that's not going to happen because I know myself.
I dive right in there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I
think
started.
twice about it.
Well, first I was screaming bloody murder and they weren't breaking up. Well,
Did
the
it
girls
help?
did, but the men weren't.
The boys never listened.
No, the boys. Well, because one of them is pregnant. Roman's mom, we think, is either he or pregnant.
Okay.
So the boys are fighting over her.
Got it.
But they would not stop from me yelling at them. So then I found this bench, step stool type of thing. And I was beating the crap out of them with it. And then I grabbed their collar and I got them removed and separated. And then I tried letting one of the females back in with one of the males. And then the other one, Prince.
Leading him back in so they can get it on or what?
Yeah, but no, to separate them.
Oh, got
because
it.
I knew she wanted to be
I was
with
thinking
him.
about the whole breeding thing. This is a breeding farm, right?
Right, yeah.
I'm thinking you're letting them in to breed.
No, she was just really scared, and I just
got it.
wanted. She likes him, so I knew that they needed to be together.
They would comfort each other.
Yes,
Got it.
And so when I was doing that, the one pushed his way back in there, and then more bloodshed. I mean, so the one grabbed his nose, and then blood was just squirting. He was squealing. Oh my gosh, guys!
Well,
I've not been the same since. I'm serious. I thought I was seeing a murder.
Yeah. Well, at least you didn't kick him too hard and break their bladder like Brady did to his dog.
Really? Because they were fighting like that?
So our Australian Shepherds, that they just have these moments where they just go nuts on each other. And the two that we have now don't, but our old two did, and his two, who came from the same litter, do. And so Ozzy, his favorite dog, he was trying to get him apart and kicking to get him apart and kicked him, and then didn't realize that till 2 days later that he had broke the bladder of Ozzy.
Gosh.
And so $4,000 later,
Wow.
he got his dog fixed.
Wow. And it was that bad? They wouldn't let go? That kind of a fight?
Yeah, furs flying and
Blood?
I don't know.
Glenda said, and she's seen a lot of dog fights and she's been bit a lot. And she was like, she wasn't expecting to see what she saw when she walked out there.
Like a mass murder just happened.
There was blood everywhere. As much true crime as I was see, I was in there. I'm I imagine this is what it's like, But yeah, it was wild.
Yeah. So Jim and Ellen, how about you guys? Christmas tradition, something fun you did, something exciting?
A
gift that you got that you were like, wow.
With the weather, the Eve service got canceled. Her brother and her sister-in-law ended up sick, so we didn't go over to her mom's yet till next weekend. So all we did was go out to Dad's for a few hours.
Okay.
It wasn't exciting.
Christmas felt weird this year.
There were no dog fights.
Yeah,
There was nothing super exciting.
No, actually not.
Elijah got a game for his Switch that we played a lot.
Well, what is it?
The sports one.
Okay.
Yeah, it's got a
kinda
bunch
the
of
Wii, where
bunch
you,
of different
Yeah.
sports
Is that what a
games or
Switch
whatever.
is? What's a
Nintendo.
Switch?
Yeah, Nintendo Switch. I'm not a gamer either, but we have one.
You played bowling?
I did with him.
Yeah,
I do with my kid.
Did you win?
Well, yeah. And he got really, really mad, and we had to have a whole conversation about it. That nobody's going to keep playing with you if you get mad when you get beat. And yeah, it turned into a major learning session. So,
so how do you keep that? How do you keep that competitive spirit in your kid without him turning into a?
Well, I have it, so I mean, I'm ridiculously competitive,
right?
But I'm not going to show
when
it.
You get beat.
Not me.
What? Never in your life.
I used to. That's what I'm saying.
Huh?
Yeah. I mean,
nobody wanted to play with you because you're a butt face or what?
I don't know. I've always been super competitive, but at the end of the day, I guess, I mean, if I win, I win. If I don't, I don't.
And you're not like upset about it?
Not really. I mean,
I know. I'm like,
not really. I mean,
Nunley wants to. I want to win.
Oh,
are
absolutely.
You kidding me?
Always.
But
I'm not going to be all ticked off throwing stuff across the room and whatnot when I get beat. I mean, it's the same with the horses.
I'm just going to figure out how to get better and beat you the next time.
Absolutely. Yeah. There you go.
Like not pouting.
So
just
teach that to your kid.
So that's what you taught him.
Well,
get better and come back again.
Well, he's getting better. I mean, it's just a dumb video game, but I don't know. I've got a weird view on, like, everything can be a teaching moment with your kids. To me, I don't care what comes up, but it's just like that. It's like if you're gonna pout because I beat you at a silly bowling game, then
so how do you want him to react? Do you want him to be okay?
I want him to be super. And we fight this with the horses because he's on a very expensive horse that he could go out and kill everybody with. Yeah. But he hasn't got that grit just yet.
Okay.
But I want him to have that grit. But with that, you have to learn. You have to learn how to win, and you have to learn how to lose.
Yeah. So what's it look like to learn how to lose?
Yeah.
Like how does somebody respond?
If you get
what's the teaching moment?
Yeah. I mean, if you get your butt kicked, you still got to go shake somebody's hand and tell them that they did a good job.
That's hard.
You can't just hit him in the face with a football helmet.
Well, I mean,
is that a personal experience?
Yeah, no kidding.
Absolutely. Senior year in high school, we were playing South Adams, and like somebody mouthed off in the line. It's my senior year, so I had my helmet, and I smashed him upside the head with my helmet.
So one thing that I really hate in this world is that there are people that are ridiculously good at certain things, and you know they're ridiculously good at it.
Okay.
Like, it's the same in the horse world. Barrel horse people are just crazy.
Your wife is a barrel horse person.
You're a barrel horse person.
Not really.
So is Ellen crazy?
I'm a pole bender.
Yes.
But they are...
Okay. There you go.
They're ridiculously cliquey, but the good ones, the good ones, you know they're good because they're stupid arrogant, and they never tell you did a good job or you had a good run or this and that. There are a few that are out there.
You're stereotyping a little
bit. But I want to...
What? You're stereotyping a little bit. All barrel races are arrogant.
Growing up, I had a decent-sized group of friends that we all had horses, right? And on the weekends, during the day, we would all try to kick each other's butt. Like, everybody wanted to win no matter what. But we all hung around the campfire in the night, and we were all really good friends. And I think there's just nothing better than that.
Yeah.
I'm going to kick your butt during the day. I want to win because that's my nature. But at the end of the day, I still want to be friends with everybody.
Yeah. Again, the reason I asked that is because, Brady was a very, 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 very strong-willed kid. And so a lot of people's response is like, you got to break his will. I'm like, dude, I'm not breaking his will. I'm going to teach him how to channel it. Just like as an example. So one time we left on Easter, so I wasn't here for an Easter Sunday. And so Brady was in his 7th or 8th class at Crestview then the week after. And so his teacher, so we get a phone call. Hey, you need to come in and meet with all of the team of teachers.
Oh my gosh.
Brady had an incident. And I'm like, well, what was the incident? He's like, he called the teacher a bitch. And I'm like, okay. Let's go in and see what's wrong. So,
for sure.
So we're all sitting around the table. And so I said, well, what happened? Tell me what happened. And the teacher's like, well, I told Brady that I just thought that it was terrible for your dad to leave on Easter since he's a pastor, and that he shouldn't be gone on Easter Sunday. And Brady stands up and says, well, you're a bitch. And so, they said, what do you think about that? And I'm like, well, I'm glad he said it. Whatever his punishment's going to have to be, let it be, because I don't think what you said was right. And you should stay out of it. So again, just like, what's the balance of still keeping them competitive and strong-willed and on the right path, and not,
I don't ever want to break him. Like,
I know you don't.
Some of the times he gets a little rambunctious and this and that. And
Ellen?
That Elijah does. And she gets worried about it. She wants him to be a lot of times this perfect little angel at school, right?
It's hard when you teach at the school.
Yeah, that would be.
When he's not, I'm okay with it because I want him to be out there. I want him to be adventurous. I want him to,
it's a fine line.
It is a fine line. But that kid has got some ridiculous natural leadership skills, and I don't want to bottle that up.
Right.
So I want to sit him out. I just have to do it in the right direction.
Okay.
I mean, everybody that's been around him says that. Like, he can take a group of kids up there and lead them at 8 years old. And I love it. I mean, because I was never that way. I'm still not that way. I'm trying to figure it out for where I need to go. But for him to have that natural gift, that is amazing. So if he wants to be a little butt once in a while, I'm perfectly fine with it. Perfectly fine with
it. Wait a second. So give us the mom's perspective.
Oh, no.
Like, what's the balance? Because here's the thing. I do think
that's the problem.
No, I think because I do think that in raising children, like, having the balance between a father and a mother is what helps a child understand both sides of it. You know what I mean? Because a father's going to do one thing and a mother's going to do another. And because they have both of them, it's going to be a good offset in understanding what that looks like. Because a lot of times dads are encouraging, it's okay to be a butt. And mom's like, except for in certain places, don't be a butt.
Right.
Right? Like,
I would agree with that.
Ellen, is that kind of on the...
I mean, like, for example, one time he got in trouble, he hit a kid. On the playground in first grade, like decked him.
Oh, first grade?
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Decked him.
Come to find out, the kid had jumped on him and would not get off.
Right.
And so, I mean, I told him, like,
yeah.
I wasn't mad.
I was a bit mad.
Okay, hey, let's get on a subject that'll make everybody mad.
Okay.
Cool, I'm up.
So I've always thought about this. So you know how you hear bullying all the time?
Yeah, I hate bullies.
So no, I know, but like, you never heard that back in the day. Like, back in the day when I went to high school, like, if somebody was a bully, somebody just beat the crap out of him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, if somebody went and bullied somebody, he got a group of friends together and they just whipped the tar out of him.
Sure.
Do you think part of the bullying problem is you can't beat anybody up anymore?
Oh, I would agree with that.
Well, yeah, I mean, if you beat somebody up, you're going to potentially be in more trouble than the other
That's
kids.
what I'm saying. So a bully can pick on somebody, right, and do whatever he wants to do, but any retaliation is... So I'm saying, like, is it... Maybe we should just go back to the... Have you ever thought about that? Let's just go
I'll
back.
let you get with the schools. And
Yeah, no kidding.
I mean, I would agree with that 100%. I mean, because that's the way it was in high school. I mean, I was very quiet and I wasn't very outspoken, but the few people that decided that they wanted to pick on me,
When it's time to throw hands, you were throwing hands.
without question.
Yeah.
I mean, without
See,
question.
this turned into a man's podcast. I'm not ready to take my shirt off right now.
I'm just saying, and I mean, you know my dad, and yeah, you could take a whole lot of crap, but there's some point in time a man's just got to stick up for himself, right?
Yeah, so again, we're not advocating people going out beating on people.
Right.
What we are saying
you have to
is that
defend
what does it
yourself.
look like to be a defender? Is that fair, Ellen? Is that going to be okay? Jenny?
Yeah.
Well, no, we were saying from the women's perspective. Like, is it okay
I think
that...
I'm all
raising
for
boys
it.
is different than raising girls, too. I mean, I think I don't have a girl, but I work with kids all day long. And
Right.
I don't think you can treat them the same.
No.
But I think the
in the way that
schools
you
try
raise
to.
them.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
Like the way that their personalities, the things that they do. Yeah. And I honestly think that's from boy to boy, girl to girl.
It is.
Like,
Oh,
all
yeah.
I know
of
some
my
girls who
kids are so much different in their personalities. And so the way you choose to lead them is completely different based upon their personality and who they are. You know?
Yeah, so along that same line, something that I have pondered a lot, when do you tell your child it's okay to physically knock somebody out? Because at some point in time it is, whether the world would agree with it or not, at some point in time, if you're getting picked on enough, at some point in time, it is time for you to knock somebody out. It's time for you to knock them in the face and set boundaries.
Yep.
So how old could your child be before you could tell them it's okay to knock somebody in the head?
You just said that like every moment's a teaching moment. I don't think there's an age. I think it's you're either a defender or you're a bully. And you need to understand the difference.
Yeah.
To me, there's a teaching moment where you're a defender and this is what it means to defend. And when it's time to defend, because again, there is a huge difference. Like, when is it time to stand your ground?
Yeah.
When is it time to stand your ground? When is it time to just let things go? And so I think those are teaching moments. And I think you help them navigate those teaching moments or those times through the situation. And that's why, we should be continual teachers and they should be continual learners. And we should learn that it is better to communicate with your children and talk them through situations to the point where they'll understand how to make decisions instead of making decisions for them.
Absolutely agree with that.
So I see so many kids that have grown up like all my decisions have already been made for me. And I just have to follow them all. And then when they get out of that, somebody made my decisions. They have no idea how to do anything because they were never.
Since Elijah was little, I've always been any chance we get to have him make a decision, that's where we're at. It's like, you make the decisions.
No.
I try not to make them all.
Right.
Sometimes you have to, right? But I don't know.
Yeah. So Ellen, tell us a little bit about you. What do you love? What's going on? Then we'll get to Jim. Yeah. So what's happening in your life right now? What do you love to do? What are you passionate about? Are you reading anything? Are you watching anything?
That's a lot of questions. Stop.
I know, that's a lot. That's a lot of stuff.
A little overwhelming there.
Remember all of it.
No, it's because you only remember a couple of things I said anyway, and then I'll just come back to it.
I have pretty good memory. I teach art. I teach K-5 art. I was a 5th grade teacher before that. And
is art like a passion of yours?
Yeah.
Really?
Have you ever seen her drawings? They're really good.
Yeah, probably.
You're not
I guess
on Facebook.
I'm not on Facebook.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Do you put them out on Facebook?
I draw for a few other people.
Yeah, you're about the only one in the county that probably not seen her work.
Yeah.
Wow, that's impressive.
Yeah, she draws for other people.
Yeah.
Like they pay her. Yeah, like pictures, right? Is it pictures?
Portraits,
yeah.
animals.
Animal portraits.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's actually cool.
I know.
That's actually cool.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen that. Where you said where would you put them out?
I just post them on Facebook.
I'm sure she has some on her phone though.
I do, but I don't have my phone with me.
Oh, dang
it.
it.
No, it's
Well,
over there.
Okay.
Never mind.
Yeah, so no, send me some of that. That's
You
cool.
can pull it up.
Oh, I can pull it up.
You spend so again in your spare time, that's what you do, like for fun?
I mean, I don't know if for fun's the right word. It gets a little tedious, but no, I have an art background. So when I started college, I went for graphic design and then dropped that and went into education like a crazy person. And looking back, I'm like, so anyways, I taught 5th grade. And in Indiana, you don't have to have an art education license to teach elementary art. So
really,
I moved into that 4 years ago when our art teacher retired.
Okay.
And so
was art like a passion when you were a kid?
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Art in like elementary was always fun. Oh, yeah. I do remember that.
Yeah.
You do remember art?
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
No, I hated art.
I never liked art either, but in elementary it was fun.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. So that's what I do. And then we have 3 horses, and that's mostly my life besides Elijah and him.
And Elijah's so cute.
We kind of all do it together. So
how long have you guys been tell us a little bit about your story as a couple. When did you meet? How long have you been together?
we've been together for 15 and a half years.
Whoa.
We've been married 10 and a half years. And we met on a trail ride. Yeah. With like a mutual family friend.
Okay.
So
dated for 5 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the only wedding that I've done where the dog was the ring bearer.
Really?
Oh, yes.
Mine might be next.
It was the coolest
For real?
thing.
That's the only way. Really?
I know, that's
I've done
very
a lot
sad.
of, like wild weddings, huh?
That's sad that was the only one.
Huh, cool.
Yeah, I mean,
the fact that you remember that, that's pretty cool.
Listen, I
Still
can
have that dog?
Yeah, so it was like, how are we doing this, Jim? Like, even in the rehearsal, he's like, well, the dog will be back there, and I'll be like, hey, Roper, I think was the dog's name.
Wow.
You know, and it was like, we're standing up there during the wedding, and he's like,
and Mike's going, there's no way this dog's
no, and I mean, he's like, I don't remember what you exactly said, but it was like something Roper, and that dog just come.
That's
sat
so
right
cute.
there, took the rings.
Yes.
You know,
So I put a
out.
clip on his collar, and we literally had
He had
a
a little
clip.
tux on.
Yeah, he had tux on. We had a clip on his
That's
collar.
amazing.
And we clipped the rings to his collar. And then he
That's
brought
what
the
I want
rings
to
down.
do.
You want to what?
Oh my gosh. Take a drink, man.
Oh, went down the wrong pipe.
I guess.
Yeah,
I want a ring bearer for a dog. My dog's doing it.
could be a ring bearer.
Man.
A man? No.
Oh, so we got to start with that.
Yeah, we got to start with that. But yeah,
We're praying for that.
right.
We continually pray for the man that Jenny deserves, which is an awesome man because she's an awesome young
Oh,
lady.
stop. Thanks. This podcast isn't about me.
We already know that. Like, you know, people have known we've been praying for you.
Yeah,
and
yeah, that's
Did
not-
you get a man that you
listened to that
deserve?
on a podcast
Yeah.
a while ago.
Huh?
I mean, I've listened to that stuff on a podcast a while ago.
Yeah.
So
That's what I mean. So we're always praying for that. So you dated for 5 years,
Yep.
right? Then got married, been married for 10.
Yep.
and a
Okay.
half. Didn't you hear that?
No,
half.
no, I don't get into the halves.
Yeah, I don't. I'm lucky to remember the years.
Have you ever forgot your anniversary?
For sure.
Why do all men do that?
Hey, I
Why do you
didn't.
think I got a list in my phone, buddy?
Well,
That's what I'm saying. Once you
So
got an
actually,
iPhone,
no, technically, I don't
Yeah, I
know
was
that
gonna
I've
say,
ever
technically you
forgot
don't.
for the day, for presents or whatever, because it's in my phone.
See?
So
I
you
don't
haven't
remember
forgotten.
dates.
When's our
I don't remember
anniversary?
dates. I don't remember. See, look at her. She's trying to put me on the spot right now. Let me look. Let me
When's
look at
my
my
birthday?
Yeah. When's your birthday?
phone. July 28th.
Oh, good job.
Okay.
When's
So
Elijah's
when's
birthday?
Well, that one's
October
easy
30th.
because his dad and Elijah have the same birthday.
Oh,
Oh, got it.
Yeah.
What's another date? Give him another one.
When's our anniversary?
Quit. I don't
Yes.
know, July. The week before your birthday.
Okay, so what's 28 minus 7?
I love it. Yeah, keep putting him on the spot.
I
Keep putting him
know.
on the spot.
I'm not good at being on the spot either.
Yeah, no.
But you did very well.
I did?
Yes,
Wow.
you did.
How old is your wife?
That's a good question. Younger than me?
How old are you?
Yeah, I don't even like that number, so let's not even go there.
How old are you?
I don't know, 44? 45 now? I think, yeah,
Wow.
45 now.
Wow.
So how
you
old am
look
I?
so much better than me. How's that happen?
Are you kidding?
Take
you
your
still
hat
have
off.
all your
Take
original
hat off.
parts.
Take your hat off.
No.
Take your hat off.
No.
Yes. Take your hat off.
Why? There ain't nothing
See,
there.
look how much better he
I
looks.
mean-
See, like I'm a full-on gray Santa Claus.
Yeah,
and you
but
still have,
if this was grown out, it would be.
There would
I mean,
be
you
fresh
got okay, fine. You got more gray than I do.
No, I know. That's what I'm
Why
saying.
do you think I shaved it all off? Because there's nothing right here no more.
There's nothing in the back.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, he didn't tell me he was doing it. He just walks out.
Oh, wow.
I was like,
Okay, we had talked
Yeah.
about
we had
it for a
talked
little
about you
bit.
doing it, but
Talk
like,
about him shaving his head.
I wasn't
Yeah.
mentally prepared.
Was
You
this
were mentally
recently?
prepared when
was
he
last
walks out.
winter.
He's
Oh,
like,
last winter.
When I was
when he
going
was
through
going
all
through
my
surgeries.
going through all my
Oh, right, right,
stuff,
right.
I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna be out of the world for a while. I might as well just do it and get used to it.
Yeah.
yeah, it did give you kind of the look of like, are you dying? No. Listen, Jim and I have been friends for a seriously long time. Now, you gotta understand the story.
Wow. I know. Wow.
Okay, bullcrap that nobody else thought that. Did it not go for
No,
like
it did.
he was seriously going through a lot.
Well, right.
And then you add the bald head and losing weight. You were looking at him like,
And the walker.
wow. Hey,
But look at
You
him
don't
now.
now. You
Look
don't
at him
look
now.
like you're dying now.
Okay.
no, I don't mean it bad. I'm
No,
just saying it
it's
added to the
perspective.
look of like, wow.
Well, because he
I'm
did
going
go through a
downhill.
lot.
That you right now have got it rough. And let's just admit it, it was rough. Right?
Yes, but
Because
I'm
he's like the
thankful for it.
bionic man.
Yeah.
I wouldn't change it for the world.
No, I know, but tell everybody
Yeah.
what you
Can
have.
you tell the surgeries?
What I have.
Yeah, like the bionic parts now.
Yeah. Long story short, last November 30th, I went in and had my left hip replaced. 2 weeks after that, we did my right hip. 2 weeks after that, we fused a vertebrae in my neck. And then 5 weeks after that, we put this big metal contraption in my lower back.
Yeah, and he had a bald head. Now, can anybody get this picture?
Yeah, I mean,
can anybody give a visual of a guy that just had 2 hips, a big metal ball put in his back, and vertebrae fused together?
Yeah,
can anybody get that picture?
In 9 weeks, that's insane.
It's almost unheard of.
Yeah. Tell us how your mental state was going through that.
Oh, yeah.
It was horrible.
Huh?
It was horrible.
What, again, through that, God speak to you? Did you have, what was some monumental times through that?
That was pretty much, a pivotal turning point in my life. It was after I did my back surgery. So I was doing okay for the first 3. I was just doing okay. Mm-hmm. And then when I did my back, it flat broke me.
Yeah.
End of the world's coming. It was, couldn't hardly walk, we were already, 8 weeks into the wife and kids seeing me crawl around the house, constantly in pain. You can't take a shower by yourself. You can't put your socks on. You can't get dressed. I'm talking bottom of the barrel, never been there in my entire life. Flat broke you looking for something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So tell me again, what did God reveal to you? Like in that moment, what is it that God showed you about yourself? And what is it that you came out of as a better person or at a better place?
Well, that's one of them questions where you kind of know, but it's just kind of hard to put into words. But it was at some point in all that is when I had finally made the decision to be all in, to fully give my life to Christ. Mm-hmm. I don't know when. It was somewhere in that in that era, right? Is when I decided to not be on the fence anymore. It was all in, and from there it was just building faith, trying to figure out how to be in relationship, how to figure out how to communicate, how to listen. Was the biggest thing is figure out how to listen to what he is, how he's trying to guide you, how he's trying to put you in this right direction. And it all came down to building bridges. It was time. This is what had to happen. Like when you and I have had this conversation, when God wants you in the game, he's going to get you, period. Whether he's got to take all your stuffs, whether he has got to physically break you to open your eyes. And that's what it took from me because I'm extremely stubborn. He had to physically break me and take me out of this world for 6 months to reach me.
Yeah, so hold that thought for just a second because I want to ask you a question. And Ellen, be thinking of the other side of it. What was it like to help him navigate through, talking through? But so one of the things that we had talked about in the midst of you going through this, so if you knew Jim before, very self-sufficient, very stubborn, and very busy, right? Like, that fair to say?
Yeah, that's pretty fair.
And so I only want people to see that because when you're saying, okay, because when we get to talking about building bridges, this isn't like the first time you had the dream of what you wanted God to do through you.
Right.
But it was a confusing time before this of how it all worked.
No,
right.
It
was very much like, how is it going to work? And how are we going to get together you had started it, at church and, had ran my kids that had been through it and, it went really well. And then there was just like, how is this going to work long term? So there's a lot of things going on, a lot of conversations that we had about like, how's it going to work? And then you get to this place where, okay, you don't want to slow down. You don't want to think. You don't want to get to this place. So you're saying God allowed these things to happen to slow you down and speak to you. Is that fair to say?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because even prior to that, so I spent almost 14 months planning this because again, you put 4 surgeries in 9 weeks, like nobody does that.
Right.
So, and dealing with insurance and getting everything planned out or whatever, I go back to, close to a year and a half before that because I've had back issues pretty much my whole entire life, just kind of off and on or whatever. And I would just happen to be in my barn, which is, that can get in the whole other thing. But anyways, I was doing just some light work, shoveling poop, my back went out or whatever. And at that point I made the decision that I'm going to get this fixed. So even walking through this, it just felt like that all that happened exactly to his plan. And to lead up to that, and then you start down all these surgeries and, I'm out of the world for 6 months, but I'm in church more than I ever have been. Grow night. You know, we didn't miss a Sunday at church forever. Like, I could not get enough of this building. Mm-hmm. But in that, the relationships that I built were just crazy. I mean, they're still just coming out of the woodwork. Mm-hmm. It's like Rand is a prime example. You know, she started coming to Champs the winter that I was down or whatever, built this relationship with Rand, and then she come out to the house, and I mean,
Rand bales hay.
Yeah. I know, she told me.
She's stacked.
Oh, she's stacked.
It's just stuff like that. Being blessed with, you know, having Nelson and Charity in our lives. It's just.
Yeah. So in that, two things that I want people to hear. So a lot of times when people get into situations, right? So everybody has a situation that interrupts you in life. So you could go around the room and you can talk to every person, and everybody's situation is different, of where their life was stopped and interrupted for multiple reasons. You lose somebody, you have surgery, you run into a financial problem, you end up on drugs, like, you know what I mean? Like there's an interruption, but you have a choice in your response to the interruption, right? Yeah. So your response to the interruption was, although all of these things aren't good and the worst part of my life, by listening to God and responding to God, it became the best time of your life. That fair to say?
Without question. And that's, if I'm sharing this story, that's the key point that I would want to make with somebody. It's, and I've said it for a long time, but saying it and believing it are two different things. Mm-hmm. Everything happens for a reason. Mm-hmm. If there's bad things happening in your life, try to take a minute to sit in it and figure out why. Mm-hmm. You know, like, because I will bet you that you will figure out, you know, depending on where you're at in your faith, because I think that differs for everybody. But and I love Nelson. In his words, if you have suck in your life, there's probably a reason. Sit in it for a while, figure it out, because it's all part of God's perfect plan. Mm-hmm. There's a path there. Figure out the path.
Yeah. So Ellen, for you, because I do think that that's obviously an important part of the journey, is what was it like from the support side? What was it like from the encouragement side? What was it like for, you know, as a wife? Yeah. Because again, I mean, behind every good man is a great woman, you know.
Amen to that one.
Huh? Well, I mean, we just don't know that. Yeah. I mean, anybody, I mean, they're lying if they don't say that. So obviously you were a part of this journey. Can you talk about your part and how that was? And
there was, he's very independent. So taking care of him, I don't know. There was a lot of anger at first from him just to not be able to do stuff.
Man.
Yeah. I'm looking back, it makes me chuckle, because when he planned all this, he was going to get so much done at home at the time, but like going through it, nothing, you know, happened really, because he was just down. And I wanted to help a lot. Mm-hmm. He didn't want me to help, but he needed the help. Mm-hmm. And so there was just conflict in that for a while. Mm-hmm. But I feel like I have watched him change a lot over this, which has changed me because I feed off of him a lot. Mm-hmm. And I don't know what else to say other than
well, no, I mean, I think you said a lot of what's important is that you were there, although nobody really has it. Like, in every one of these situations, you know, we want to make it like it's glorious, but it's not always glorious. Right. I mean, I'm sure in those times of taking care of a stubborn man, it wasn't that glorious, you know. But in it, what you said reveals what we need to look for is that you saw God working in your husband, right? And because of God working in your husband, it changed you, right? And because you chose to stick it out and to be there and to be a part of it, because again, it's not glamorous. It's not glamorous in these situations, but if we stick it out, you're saying, like, I watched things change in him and it changed things in you. Do you have any like specific things that, like, as we've been going down through this journey, like, this is something that's really changed in me now in watching him go through this?
So he's a lot more peaceful than he ever used to be. And just like he said, like things happen for a reason. And he did used to say that, but he didn't always
didn't always believe it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
And I'm an anxious person just naturally. And my level of anxiety has come down a lot just because if he's not anxious, then if he's anxious, I'm going to be like up here.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, I feel like for both of us, there's just been a lot of more like, if God says so, then it'll be. And we've both let go of a lot of that control. Him more than me. I'm still working on it a little bit.
Right.
Yeah, so that's been probably the biggest change through the whole thing.
Yeah, because what you said is true of most people. If it's going to be, it's going to be because of me. That's what you're taught in life, right? If it's going to happen, you're going to make it happen.
Yeah.
So this whole idea of do your part, because this is the thing I don't want people to miss. God still wants you to do your part, right? Which you guys are, and then let him do his part instead of taking it all over, right? And
which when he was taking care of him, like, it was just really out of control. Like, I couldn't do anything.
Right.
They're limited of what I could do to help him.
Right.
And so that was hard.
Right.
Because I felt out of control.
Right. So you had both of you in a situation where things are out of your hands.
Oh, yeah.
You know, yeah. Because again, and Jim, you can share some of this story with you guys, but I would say, I mean, I've known you for a decent amount of time. So if we go back, I think it's, been.
I think
when was the church roping? Because that's when.
I think it's been 13 years.
Yeah, a long time.
I've been coming here 13 years.
Yeah. And so I love you to death, and you've known that, and, love being around you guys and see it. But there was always a sense of discontentedness, with where you were in life.
Oh.
Right. There was just always this sense of
for sure.
This just can't be all. Like, this just can't be.
That's a good way of putting it.
This just can't be all there is to life.
That's
right.
Word for word. That's it. Yeah. And that's probably why. So, and we've had these conversations too, but I believe that everybody has gifts, right? And the frustration always was for me was I've always known what my gifts are, but I've never been able to figure out how to use them. Right. So, and comes building bridges, we go down all that roads or whatever. But in the last year or whatever, the reason things have changed so much is, again, once you learn how to pray, you learn how to listen, and God puts you on a path, nothing else matters. Right. If you need something, then if this is what you think you need and you pray about it, then it's either going to happen or it's not.
Right.
And just be okay with whichever way it goes. Stay on the path, stay the course.
But that's the difference, because I want to make sure people see this, because a lot of people are like, because I have discontentedness, but I have godly discontentedness. Like, I'm not happy with the status quo. Like, if you talk to most of the staff, I mean, even where we're at today, I'm not happy. Like, we can do so much more, reach so many more, expand the borders so much. And some people are like, why can't you just be content? I mean, look at where Life Church was and look at where it is today. And I'm like, I will never be content because of this godly, which is what you just said.
There you go. Yeah. Don't misunderstand my content, because I'm not.
That was what I was trying to get at. Yeah. Because there is this
striving.
Yes. Yeah. There is this man discontentedness that God is completely against.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Like this discontentedness that comes out of selfishness, right? It comes out of this desire for us to get what we want. But what you're talking about is that some of what you settled is this godly discontentedness. How do I figure out how to use my gifts? So we'll get into like building bridges and how you guys have seen that. But Ellen, starting with you, did you grow up in a church? Like, what is your faith background?
Yeah. So,
and
I grew up in Union Church.
Oh, okay.
And then for as long as I can remember, we went there. We lived like a mile from there. And then in high school, maybe, we started going to Emmanuel. And then in college, kind of went to Emmanuel. Then we started dating. And then
everybody thought I was an atheist.
came here.
Wait a second.
That's a true story.
Yeah, so let's talk about that. So faith was a pretty important part of and guided most of your decision as a no.
So I went to church.
Okay.
Like my experience with church was a lot of like watching people say something on Sunday and living their life completely different.
Okay.
Until recently. That's probably been my experience with church. So I have a lot of the knowledge background.
Okay.
Way more than me.
Yeah. But either way, so you had it. So that's what I was going to get at is so when you met Jim, the faith part wasn't important at that time of him to be a believer. Because from what I would understand, and maybe Jim,
I would say he wasn't an atheist. But it wasn't a big part of, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, no, Jim, tell us, what was your faith growing up? Like, was it a big part of your background? Because I honestly don't even know this for sure.
You didn't pay attention to the baptism video?
Jeez.
You didn't memorize each video?
Jeez.
Go ahead,
got it,
throw it
didn't
out
I, Nick?
there, whatever.
No, so for me, no, Christ was never in our home. My mom was raised Catholic. My dad was Southern Baptist, I think. And I don't even know exactly what that means. I don't.
It's okay.
Know what that means?
It doesn't even matter.
I don't. I seriously don't. Because actually, again, one of the other cool things about this journey for me is that I've actually started to have conversations about Christ with my dad. And you have met him a little bit, so you know what a abrasive guy that he can be. And sometimes those can be very, very hard. And I really tried to get him here for the baptism Sunday, which it just didn't work out. But anyways, so no, it was never really a thing. I remember when I was like junior high or whatever, I had some friends that went to some churches. So I went with them just to go, but it was never, it was never really a part of my life till that church opened.
Yeah, so again, let's talk through that. Maybe talk about it while Corinne's in here, so that way maybe we can do another church roping someday.
Ooh.
Oh, well, it's happening. It's just
I
not
know
a
that's what we're
roping.
going to get to.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
So, again-
and she's going to be a big part of it. So
Corinne's a big part of everything.
she just doesn't know
she
it
is.
yet.
She's the superstar.
I don't even know how many people know about it just yet. But anyways,
That all comes.
yeah, it'll come.
It'll all come. So again, talk about the experience at the church roping, because what it's going to lead into is two things. So one, you're going to talk about building bridges, right? Of what you guys are passionate about, the ministry that you want to, that you guys want to continue to do and see explode and be a part of, and how the version of the church roping is what you guys want to bring in the upcoming spring, summer.
And June.
So tell me about what was exciting to you guys who are kind of somewhere with faith, kind of not with faith, but you're big into horses. What at the church roping made a difference for you?
So I'm going to start this one just real quick. Because, so they had out at Manassas Staples, they had a team roping event and a barrel racing event. And
a country concert.
For me,
Oh, yeah, you can't forget that.
I don't remember that.
I don't even remember the concert.
But to be fair, we were running.
You had the worship band up on stage.
Yeah, well, we did the first year we did it, so we did it 2 years
Yeah,
in a
see, I
row.
don't even remember the
I
first
don't know which
year.
one we came to.
But was it a roping?
What?
The
The
first
very first one, was it an actual team roping?
Yes, that's all it was. So
There wasn't barrel racing.
No.
Okay, then
There
we
wasn't.
I don't
It
even
was
know
team
how
roping and
At Manassas.
at Manassas, because remember the guy that helped us put it on was the guy
Yes.
that travels around.
Yeah, I know who he is, but I don't remember
But
his
anyway,
name.
the first one we did was just essentially like, oh, well, let's just do a team roping and then do church. So we canceled church and went out and did the team roping and then did a worship service.
Yeah, see, I can't
Then
believe I
after
didn't know
that, I'm
about that
like,
one.
dude, I'm up for canceling church all the time.
Right.
What's the next thing that we could
sounds
do?
fun.
Yeah, what's the next thing that we could do? So then we went all out. Like we want to make it an event.
Right.
You know, and so that was country concert on whatever night, barrel racing,
Right.
team roping, church, you know, in the middle of the team roping.
Right.
Anyway, so keep going.
So for me, and really for us, not really being in church, we were at this really cool horse event, and I'll never forget this till the day I die, because I've told this story before. If you remember, between the garage and the barn, the driveway walking down where you had the tent on the left and the arena on the right, I'll never forget this. I was walking through there, and I just happened to look up, and there's this guy walking on that hillside going right down there, and I'm going, that guy's a preacher?
Oh. Yeah.
I'm going, are you kidding? What is going on here? This is totally against everything. And keep in mind, let me back the train up. So people might not know this. I used to be married before.
Okay.
And that was a very, very churchy family. That is where, if somebody would say, you know, you've been church hurt, it was that era of my life, because that pastor absolutely hated me. I mean, like, with a passion, he wouldn't marry us. This is a serious moment. Like, for sure. So then I see this other guy that's a parent. I'm going, what in the world is this? And we had a conversation that day, was like, we need to go check out Life Church.
Well, after the service. But all I could think was, like, I knew we were going to go up there, and I was like, please don't let this turn him off from church.
Oh my gosh.
Because, like, I grew up in church, and I wanted to get back into church. And, like,
so you were worried that the event was going to be terrible.
Yeah, well, a little bit. Yeah.
The first time we came was your business meeting.
Yeah, the first time we came to this church was the business meeting.
Okay, well, they're not that bad. I mean, they're...
Yeah, I remember showing up and being like, oh my gosh.
Well, that was not a great one to start.
Yeah. No, it's not. Yeah. Yeah, but it's evolved over time.
So that, and so I've been working up the stuff for the horse show this spring, and going through the history or whatever. And I can't for the life of me remember, like, how you and I actually built a relationship. Like, I remember you from there, and then I don't know if it's just because of your outgoing personality. Well, no. We just started talking at church.
So a couple things. So at the roping, you know, or the whole event, right? So the idea of the event is that too many times the churches are saying, come to us and never go to them. So we as a church have always said, we want to think outside of the box, and we're open to blow the box up. You know, Absolutely. So blowing the box means going out and canceling church, and, you know, we're going to do it. And that's what that's who we are. That's what we're about. Well, after that, you know, I had known you from 4-H. So Becca Grossman, you know, so when my kids were in 4-H, Becca, you know, she came to me and sat by me, and the first thing she said is, just so you know, I hate pastors and I hate the church. So what do you do?
Wow.
And I'm like, well, I'm the pastor of Life. And we started talking, and we started riding together. Becca and I started trail riding together. We knew you guys through 4-H.
Okay.
You know, because you guys were involved in 4-H at the time.
Yeah, we were 4-H leaders for 5 years.
You know, and so we'd known you then. And then, you know, after that, you were involved in some of the roping stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so I would come out on Saturdays, and, you know, we would talk. And then, honestly, you initiated the hunting trip with me, and then, you know, where you invited me to go pheasant hunting. And then, to me, it's been an ongoing relationship since then of helping you navigate this whole idea of where does church and faith and all that fit. So let's talk about, again, what you guys love, what you're dreaming about, what you're hoping for. So let's talk about building bridges. Yeah. So building bridges, how did it originate? Where did it come from? Because we only have like 15 minutes left.
Yeah, I know, and that really stinks, because we're just now getting into the what's important here.
No, it's always, listen, it's a good teaser because here's what we want people to do. Mm-hmm. We don't want people to get all the information here. We want them to sit with you. Mm-hmm. So the idea from this podcast is you give bits of information, and people who are interested, I mean, this is just my suggestion. You get a hold of Jim and Ellen, you have lunch, and you have supper, you get to talk, and you get to see the real vision and passion for what's happening. Yeah. So talk a little bit about the building bridges, what's behind it, and, you know, your passion, and give a brief summary of it and what you're praying for and hoping for, and then we can talk about...
This is your baby. I'm a helper. I am the assistant.
Yeah, so back in 2013, we actually... The 4-H wasn't working out for us. We knew there was something more, whatever. I always had that drive. So one of our, we have had countless conversations of this, but one that I will never forget, exact time, place, whatever, was the day that I approached you with this idea when you were sitting with Allie on the bleachers out at the Horse and Pony. Pitched this idea about getting, horses and kids together and, doing little devotionals or whatever. And you were like, from the get-go, you were in it. I just was absolutely in it. And you helped us figure out how to start it. And we ended up doing little camps out at Josh and Jessica Shears, which is where, we did that. We actually did that for 4 years. Mm-hmm. And, we would bring kids out and we had some volunteers from, from here. Some of them were from the college or whatever. Mm-hmm. And we would find the right person to pair with the right kid with the right horse because we had access to that stuff. And we would start the day out with little devotionals. Zach Shear was a part of it then. And we do little devotionals. And then we would, clean stalls, clean the barn up for Jessica or whatever. And then we would just, ride and teach kids, some riding skills at the time because that's kind of just how it started. Mm-hmm.
So catering to kids who would not have otherwise had that experience.
Yes, for sure.
So we did that for 4 years, and then we kind of just through circumstances lost that facility to use. So I basically just spent the next 8 years or so just plain being mad at God. Like, we were
burnt out. I was burnt out.
Yeah, because you were doing everything.
Yeah.
I mean, can I share that?
Yeah, for sure.
It was his dream, but I executed it.
Right.
And when we started again, when we went through the surgeries and all this went down, I was like, I will help you, but I will not do everything.
Right.
And so like in those 8 years, I kept being like, we should be doing this. Like every time I'd come to church, I didn't want to come to church because every time I'd leave, I'd be like, we're supposed to be doing this and we're not. And like now I just feel bad.
And I wasn't there. That was the kicker. That was the point. I wasn't there.
I would come without him.
Oh, right. Right.
No, I mean, I wasn't there as far as I was still being mad because God wouldn't give me a ton of money to do it my way. Mm-hmm. Right. I mean, that's key point in this whole deal.
Yeah. So can I share this and you can elaborate on it? So building bridges, the concept that you pitched to me, and I still think is this concept today is that there are people that don't have opportunities to be able to connect with animals in a way, and that there is a certain bond that can happen when somebody gets on a horse that's very healing, that's very soothing, that connects them in ways that they can't get done. And so because there are a lot of privileged kids, and I don't even mean this in a bad way, but it's expensive to own animals.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
So there are a lot of privileged kids that have lots of parents with lots of money who will buy horses and board them, and they can go ride them, or that can go ride boarded. But there is a huge group of young people who would love to be a part of that and would love to experience that, but can't because of the financial strain that does. So part of building bridges was building bridges, the gap, right? Bridge
and finding people to connect to those kids. Like it's more than just the horses. We want it to be a mentorship type program too.
Right.
Okay. This is what, and I've spent countless hours thinking and prayer on this, that I don't want this to get wrapped up into this is horse riding lessons.
Mm-hmm. No.
Some people will. They don't understand the difference of it. And this isn't even just about using the horses for healing the individuals. Like that's a part of it. But this facility and using these horses is about it's about building relationships with other people,
right?
Because if you bring a kid through my program and we get them introduced to the animals and the facility or whatever, and then I bring in another group, and now you have an experienced kid mentoring another kid, and now you start conversations about Jesus. Like to me, in the end game, that is how you change a generation of kids.
Right. But here's the reality that we all know, right? So everything that we do takes a draw, right? It just does. So if we want people to come, it's a draw. Part of building bridges is the draw is I'm a young kid that wants to ride a horse.
And horses is my means.
Again, and I'm not saying you're saying this, but we're not underselling the fact that the draw is it's pretty cool as a kid to be able to come out.
It is.
Then this is the cool part about it, right? And this is what we try to do in every opportunity. Then you get a chance to share Jesus, share vision, and share relationships.
Yeah.
But the horses, the facility, the things that are there are connecting points to be able to bring kids in that wouldn't naturally have that opportunity.
And reach
and then once they're there, then we get an opportunity, one, to connect them with other people that they wouldn't normally be connected with, opportunities for them to learn something that they could enjoy and love and be a part of, and teach somebody else to do the same thing. Right? And we get those platforms to be able to do it. But there's big barriers, right, to getting this done. I mean,
mostly one big bear.
Well, so I kind of want to make sure we touch on this. So because you and I have had relationships for weather, so I've been down several different roads for this. One of them was we've had conversations in the past about just flat buying another facility, trying to make it a business to run building bridges out of. And the way I look at that is God said no, right? So fast forward a few years, we have conversations about me buying another business to where my income would be huge enough to support this. God said no. What's going on here? Well, I've figured this out, that because this is something that can be built and impact lives for generations to come, it has to be built the right way. That was the piece that's always been missing. This has to be built on the shoulders of Jesus Christ, period, end of story. It can't be built by me or, me making X amount of numbers to do this or whatever. It has to be built by his people. That's it in a nutshell. And that's the crucial piece that's been missing.
Yeah. So again, the gap. So just so everybody knows, because again, we can't get into all of it, but the gap is finances and people, right?
No, it's not even people anymore, Mike. This is blowing up. Like, people are coming out of the word work. They're coming. All I need is $1.5 million to build a facility. I'm just going to say
laugh
it.
at the number, but it's
No, I don't. No, I'm not laughing in the fact that it's when you said just for people that are
in God's eyes, it's nothing, and that's just a fact that I have accepted because I believe, because He has shown me this will happen.
Yeah, so maybe I should rephrase this: the right people with the right amount of money. Yeah, that's my point. So there's never a lack of people who want to be involved.
No,
there's a lack of people that are willing to make a sacrifice, substantial sacrifice. And so, again, if you're out there and you're listening and you're a part of this, I mean, my suggestion is that if you're looking at a place that, again, if you're passionate about a couple things. One being seeing young people right now who massively are leaving the church.
Yeah.
So, and they're really not getting Jesus. And so if you want to be about trying something different and different platforms and different opportunities, this is a platform and an opportunity to reach kids, right? And to teach those. And so if you're out there and you're looking to invest into something that could change a generation of young people and
4 generations.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So if you're out there and you're listening, get with Jim and Ellen, and Jenny, if you're, can give you their contact information, after the podcast is over, you can text Jenny or get with her and she can give that information, but have a meeting, listen to the vision. And because that's the gap. I mean, the gap right now is the few people, because I'm with you, you know me. I mean, money's money.
Yeah.
And realistically right now we have one horse in our barn that we can use. And we are.
And that was something else that we come to terms with, maybe more me so than her, but it's like, if you don't use and you don't give away what you have, then God's not going to give you more. So we have a horse that is usable. So she has been mentoring a girl all summer that's been coming out. I've picked up a couple kids that I'm really thankful that they have entered my life, and doing what you can with what you have, and the rest will come. Yeah,
and that's what I'm saying. When people sit down and talk to you, you can't get the whole story. Right. But when people sit down and talk to you, they're going to see like it's an act of faith and it's an act of faithfulness, and you can share the stories of life change and the things that happen and things you're praying for. So I would just recommend them getting with you. Then let's talk about the church. What is it actually called?
It's a barrel race.
It's going to be a barrel race.
Yeah.
Okay.
And pole bending and flags, but
So is it like what it was before?
No.
It was a roping before.
I don't know the difference.
You're right. So team roping is where 2 people go out and rope a cow. basically.
They just have to get it.
Yeah, we'll just leave it at that because I can explain all that to you later. But this is actual, your barrel racing and your pole bending.
You're just going like in between.
Okay.
Barrel racing.
I've seen it on movies.
Yeah, where you go around the barrels, literally cloverleaf around the barrels, right? So that's part of our gifts is obviously horses, and we both for quite a while have wanted to do a horse show, and that's something else because of how I got to this place. Through the church open, it's been real heavy on my heart the last few years to do this, to try to reach more people the same way I was reached. Right. And God said it was time to do it this year, so we're going to do it.
Okay.
And so we've got some rough stuff going on. I've already got the venue booked. It's out at the Chief Hoffontaine Saddle Club. We've got some other stuff going, but the cool story behind this was, and I don't know how much time we got, but I got to share this one with you. So we're figuring somewhere around $8,000 to put this on. So we're in the process of raising money for that. So while I was at work, I got an email from the head boss that says they were looking for ideas because every year they give X amount of money to charitable donations. And I'm like, I don't know if I should do this, but I'm going to do it anyways. So I sent, and this is the big guy, right? Yeah. I sent him an email, said, hey, Building Bridges is looking to do a horse show for, an outreach for the kids or whatever. I said, you can look them up on Facebook. Next thing I know, I'm getting a phone call saying, where do we donate? And they donated $2,000 to this already.
Yeah. Awesome. Shout out to, are you allowed to say their name?
Vermeer, yeah, absolutely.
Shout out to Vermeer.
Yeah.
So we're
giving away money.
Right.
Well, they actually give away $90,000 this year to non-for-profit, and they give us $2,000 for this horse show, which is
so good for you for asking, good for them for giving. So you don't have because you don't ask. That's why I'm always asking.
Well, that was another hard lesson, just figuring out because you know me, I don't like asking for things, but
Same.
When it's time, it's time. And there's more stories that go with asking that.
There's so many stories.
Yeah.
I know.
That's why they need to get with you.
Yeah.
They're just pretty amazing the way God's been working in all of this. So I absolutely, and nobody's ever gonna veer me off this because I know it's my path. It's where I'm supposed to be. No matter what, period. End of story.
So do we know a date?
For the show?
Yeah.
Do you have a calendar?
Yes, I do.
It's the last weekend of June.
It's the last weekend of June? Okay.
Friday and Saturday.
And so if people want to get involved, are we at that place yet? Are we at a place where people can get involved?
Yeah.
The 24th.
Well, I've sat down with Rhiannon.
23rd and 24th.
That's Friday and Saturday.
Of June. Okay.
Yeah.
So it'll be a Friday night, will be all the expos or whatever. And I haven't had a conversation with the other people that are going to be heavy hitters in this game that don't know it yet.
Surprise.
But yeah, we'll do expos Friday night and then just kind of get people there. But then I want to do like a little campfire worship deal Friday night for everybody that's involved because I'm going to need close to 50 volunteers throughout the whole day of parking and mostly the arena work of setting up poles, setting up barrels, and then full-blown worship service. We're going to cut we're stopping the show at 5 o'clock Saturday, making everybody come down.
We will force
you. Make you go to church.
Make you.
That's why we came to yours. We didn't have anything else to do.
Shutting down the show. We're going to do the service. And the people that are involved with this have coached me into doing the message that night.
Whoa.
Jim the preacher.
Jim the preacher.
Because we feel like that we have to start spreading
you should tell your story
of building bridges.
Yeah. So with that, so again,
I'm terrified.
There'll be details coming out.
Like I'm starting to sweat thinking
but there'll be people, obviously, if you're a listener, you don't come to Life Church and you want to know what's going on, again, you can get with Jenny. Jenny will help, because again, you don't have to come to Life Church to be involved.
Right.
What's going on and help spread the word. So we'll get that out there.
It's coming. We needed to get through Christmas and whatever where Nick had some free time because I got some major.
Nick never has free time.
I got questions for him, and we kind of need to sit down to get things hashed out.
It's all coming. Do you have questions for him?
Yes, we have questions.
From the audience.
We do.
No way.
Okay. First one, Bree Sullivan says, how do you handle the extreme cold with all of your animals?
It's awful.
And do you have animals other than horses?
We have 3 dogs. That's it. And some pigeons and quail. As far as extreme cold.
Is that really a pet?
No.
What do they do?
It's for his dog to learn how to kill him.
Oh, okay. Well, I thought they were just in the barn.
Training.
And then as far as the cold, we have a lot of heated apparel. Like I have a heated vest.
You just got one for Christmas.
No, I didn't.
That was Ellen, somebody else.
No, didn't you? You got a heated vest for your horse.
For my horse?
Yes.
He got a blanket.
Oh,
Just a blanket.
come on, guys. That was the same thing.
It's the same thing.
Oh, no,
I was
not even
like, I
close.
know that
He
was
walks
you.
around with an extension cord plugged into it.
No, but we do. We have like heated apparel and then, I don't know, a big heater in the barn. It just sucks. I mean,
Yeah.
Wow.
And you
Yeah,
have to
it
put
does.
something like in their water bowl too,
Like
right?
heated
No,
water
they
buckets.
have heated buckets.
They
And,
do?
Like during the major cold blizzard part,
Like the last 2 days, like when it was real cold.
Yeah. They
just stay in the
horses
barn.
Just stayed in the barn. We have
with
stalls
blankets.
and they're blankets.
That's it. No heat. Not till I get my facility built because I want it to be year round.
But they're warm, like
They have winter
naturally,
coats.
right?
Yeah.
Yes, they have
Yeah.
big, thick winter coats. Yeah.
How much do horses eat? Like, how much do you feed them?
Oh gosh.
Like, how much are they supposed to have
About
in
30
a day?
pounds of hay a day and about 6 pounds of grain.
Really? Okay.
So I have to figure up a budget for because we've started the just go ahead. I
Yeah.
was gonna tell you it's about $3,000 a year to take care of a horse.
Okay, well, this is perfect because
Okay,
dun dun
one
dun,
horse.
Emily Miller. What is the average startup cost if someone is interested in owning a horse with a horse emoji?
The horse emoji.
I know, I love the horse
I mean, it
emoji.
depends if you're gonna board or if you're gonna have.
gosh.
If you already
What
have
about
a barn,
personally?
you
Or I guess if you don't have a
Boarding, meaning
Oh.
where's your horse going to stay?
Got you. I thought, well, boarding, I think of dog boarding.
Right. Same
You know,
principle.
Same
right,
concept.
but it's at
Absolutely
the
same
house,
principle.
right?
Well, so like like if I only owned one horse, I would find somebody who already had a barn and pay to keep my horse there. That would
Okay.
be cheaper than me building a barn and having a horse.
Right.
That's
far as
so
an
sad.
actual
So much a
number?
month to do
So
that.
yeah, so if you have a place at home for a horse, because I just sat down and figured all this stuff, you're real close to about $3,000 a year
Okay.
to take care
Just
of a horse.
maintenance,
So
not-
now you have to spend
It's not
Don't
food.
turn
Several
anybody off to horses.
several $1,000s for tack. You have to have a truck. You have to buy a trailer. I'm telling you, this game is ridiculous.
Wait, why?
We don't have to do all of those things. You can ride your horse around your place and
Right,
never
yeah.
leave.
You
It
still
depends.
have to have
There's
tack.
so many
I
variables.
said tack. You don't have to have a trailer and a
Well,
yeah. I mean, you
It's a
could
lot.
be
It's too many variables to throw out a specific number. It depends on what you want to do.
That's
Right.
good. Yeah.
yeah.
We spend thousands of dollars of years on horses.
But that's our life.
and that is
Right.
our, that is our family hobby. That's
Yeah.
what we do as a family. That's what we do.
Weekend vacation.
Yeah, we don't take
we don't
vacations.
take real vacation.
We don't. We take a vacation every weekend, do a horse show.
Right, but that's fun.
Oh, for sure.
think
The,
that's
the
fun.
best
Was it?
advice possible is not find a crooked horse
Yes.
dealer to buy your horse
Yeah.
from that
Find
says
somebody-
that it's family friendly and it
Yeah.
breaks your fingers.
Yeah,
Find
that's good
somebody-
advice.
Yeah.
Good.
Wait, why?
Because that happens all the time.
Yeah,
People
yeah.
say, "Oh, it's like,"
It's
and
kid
I mean,
safe,
people
and then
will.
it's not.
Like they're mean or something?
No, they're not.
They're just
They're
not
not
honest
broke.
with you. They tell you that the horse is something that he's not.
Oh.
The
just
first
not
horse
honest.
that we
So if
got
they're looking for a horse, tell them to get with us, and we'll help them
Oh,
find. a
get with
nice
her.
horse.
supposed to
That's
be
her
it's
deal.
supposed to be family friendly. The horse that we got, and it broke
Was it
Sherry's
wild?
finger in 4 places.
How?
So she had
They're
it.
big.
So she had
know,
she had the rope. And again, at the time, we're just walking around. He takes off the rope catches her finger
Been there.
and
so
broke
gross.
it four different
Yeah,
places.
been there.
Yeah, the day before I was going to take this thing to trade it in on a different horse, I was bringing it in and it kicked and went right by my face. And if I knew I wasn't trading it that day, I'd have shot him right out there in the pasture.
Jeff got shot my horses.
Yeah, I'd have shot him right out there in the pasture.
Yeah.
Wow.
So find a good horse. That's
Find a good
start.
horse.
Yeah.
So yeah.
All right, from Doug Bragg. He wants to know that he has heard a little bit about your mission in the Grow Night class that you took together. They are fun people with a great story. In addition to financial help and prayer, how can we as a church community help their mission? Which would
Yeah, no,
donate.
you said it. I mean,
No,
Like what else though?
yeah.
Oh, besides financial?
Yeah.
I mean, that's right now where we're at. Because again, God is bringing every person that I need right now is just coming into my life, which is absolutely amazing. But I mean, I threw out the number of $1.5 million to build a facility. That's not just a number I've pulled out of thin air. I mean, that.
Keep it PG.
Yeah, no, it is. That's what it's going to take, and that's what I need. I need a facility to do this out of. And it's not just the kids with horses. It's already grown to where people that work with other people that have physical or mental handicaps. Like I want to train that person in the facility so that they can have a whole different group of kids or people there that are just not at risk. So if somebody wants to work with veterans, if I don't ever want this place to be shut down, and I want it to run, 365 days a year.
Yeah,
That's my vision.
Really financially is the biggest
it's
thing.
getting it built, because right now it's like we are doing something on a very small scale with one horse, but for the most part it's just an idea. But this idea over the last year is just exploding.
So I would say word of mouth. I would say for
bleed the
people
vision.
to be talking to people, because then they'll find the people.
What'd you just say?
Bleed the vision.
Oh, I've never heard that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That you just got to bleed it out into other people.
Right, 'cause
so
they'll get
everybody
to
you talk
somebody.
to is another connection that you just never know.
And
Right.
sooner or later, somebody that's got the financial backing is going to
Right.
hear about this and share
Exactly.
my vision, and is going to come help us build this facility.
Yeah, it might
Right.
be
Can I
one,
make
might be
a-
10, might be 20 people
a
that.
plug that we do have under Life Church, there is,
Oh, yeah.
we have a tab.
Yeah.
So
For donations.
So if you go on the app,
Building
I have
Bridges.
no idea if that's true
Yeah,
or not.
it is
If you go
true.
on the app and you
Yes.
go into giving,
Yep.
there's a place
Well,
for
if you
building
go-
bridges that you can donate to.
Even just the Life Church Huntington website, go to giving, building bridges, because that's the way Vermeer just donated, was that way. So yes, it works.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they have their own account.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Shani. Did I say it right? Yes. Okay, Shani Young wants to know if you guys give riding lessons to kids.
Never been asked that before.
I mean, so here's the deal. We have one horse. It's also Elijah's horse. So, and I have a girl that's riding him this coming summer. And it's not,
So for the most part, the answer is unfortunately no.
Not
I'll
yet.
say it.
I'm
She
gonna
doesn't
say
want to
not
say
yet.
it because that's true.
because
It's
I
not
cannot
yet.
put kid after kid after kid on this horse.
Right.
If that makes
He's
sense.
just not ready.
no, it's just
Because
hard
he's
on
a
the
he's a
horse.
very expensive broke
he's
running
a competition
horse.
horse.
Right.
Okay.
Who's a great babysitter, but also like I don't want to ruin him for my kid.
Yeah. So no.
Which
Not
No,
yet.
not
Not yet.
Not
Not
yet.
yet.
yeah, it's
Not yet.
yeah, we're doing with what we can do. We just
But
can't.
if she's interested in lessons, I can point her to some people who
There
do
you
give
go.
lessons.
There you go.
There you go.
There. That's a good answer. All right. Emily Krieger says, going into the new year, we are constantly trying to reinvent ourselves for the better. With that said, what is your most irrational fear or superstition that you want to see take a backseat this year, 2023? That was a good question.
yeah, like
My
I didn't
most
even understand
irrational
it.
fear.
Irrational fear. Wait, what'd you
A
say?
lot of those.
I don't.
Like, what are you afraid of that you want to see?
Or if you have a superstition, I think
don't-
that's
I
what
don't-
you
Jim's not
said.
afraid of anything.
No,
anymore.
nothing.
See?
I don't have too many fears anymore.
None?
I don't know. Right now, okay, let me back that train up a bit. Right now,
Right now.
my biggest fear is the message at the horse show.
There you
Because
go.
I feel like
It's irrational.
it's
Yeah.
extremely important. There are going to be people there that
Yeah,
are going to
don't
need
mess
to hear
up.
it. I know.
Because if you mess up,
You
like-
can't put any more
like,
pressure on me.
If you mess up, somebody's life might be ruined forever.
Wow.
Again, you can't tell me
Just
anything.
absolutely not
Yeah.
true.
But you can't
This
tell
is
me
not
anything that I
true.
have not already thought about in
It's
that
not
aspect.
true.
Yeah, it's not true.
not.
Whatever you say
This
is
is
going to be
happening
what's
for a reason.
right.
God's words.
So everything you say
That's what I
will
pray
be for a
for.
reason.
Yeah.
Just give me
So
the right
Ellen,
words.
do you have irrational?
I have a lot of irrational fears.
You have one,
Right, she has
one
anxiety.
that you want to put
Yeah, I have
behind you.
anxiety. My fear with building bridges is always just like,
Oh, there you go.
what?
No, go ahead.
I don't know. It's always just been like, how are we gonna do this?
Yeah, because you've said multiple times that you don't even see it. That you don't know
logical-
I don't have the vision.
Yeah, for sure.
And
Yeah.
it's never been my vision. And I'm okay. And that's another change. I'm okay with that now.
Yeah.
It wasn't before.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, that's my
Yeah,
irrational
put it
fear, is
behind you.
like,
That's good.
How are we doing this?
Yeah.
And those are all
more?
the questions.
Okay, so give us, send us
Yep.
off with the text group and how people can get involved.
So those numbers that just were asked are from our texting group. And you can be a part of our texting group if you text 260-408-8383. Yes.
Yes.
Always love when I
You're-
get that right.
You're the best.
Right. Thanks. I know. But yeah, so I just ask questions because I send them out each week from you guys. So we let you know who's going to be on our podcast. So you can text us back with a question that you've thought of or just thought of randomly. But then throughout the week, you can text us if you know somebody that wants to be on the podcast, if you want to be on the podcast. Yeah, just use it regularly all the time. We'll
Yeah.
respond, hopefully.
Yeah. And so again, don't forget, we'd love for people to take an opportunity. So if you're listening to this, one of the things we always suggest is like get on our social media so you can get a picture of Jim and Ellen. Like, what do they look like if you've never met them? Even if, because we have the opportunity for you to watch them, but not everybody's going to watch.
Right.
And we're always just saying, well, get on for a second. Jenny always posts it.
Yep.
Get like, this is what they look like. Because we'd love for you to go up and introduce yourself and talk to them. And again, take an opportunity to hear the vision and what God's
Sit
doing.
in the second row.
First service.
Wow.
And I will be putting something out, like a testimony Tuesday type of a thing, along with this. So that can also be liked and shared and commented. And yeah.
So don't forget, that's how we get the word out. And like we've always said, is that take an opportunity, if you share it, if you like, or you comment, because it gets into other people's feeds. Nobody really knows like what God's going to do with that.
No clue.
So we're praying like, hey, God does amazing things and, you know, his will is done. And again, Jim and Ellen, like it's been, here's what I've said personally, watching you guys' journey from 10 years ago, if that was a day, to where you are today, to me is an example of stay the course, right? Like you guys stay the course.
Even in the lows,
even in the
valleys.
Stay faithful. And God has really changed some things in both of your lives and revealed some things. And now is going to be able to use you in some mighty ways. So I'm, you know, it's awesome to watch. I'm proud of what you guys are doing and excited about what the future is going to be. And so we'll continue to pray for that. And you guys that are listening or watching, pray with us that God can do some amazing things through this and continue to use you guys in awesome ways. So thanks for joining us.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us. And again, we hope that you'll subscribe, listen, or subscribe, like, share, whatever it is that you can help us get the word out.
Yeah.
And again, get to know Jim and Ellen from that. So thanks for joining us. We'll see you guys next week.
bye.